We be fussing, we be screaming, but you the one I wanna lay beside this evening. I'm gonna come back, even when I'm leaving. You give good love, and I receive it. When you feeling down, I'ma sing to you. That ring on your finger got a ring to it. That's that real love, God-fearing love. It may not be how we dreamed it, but it's still love. Can we ever sit down? Talk to me nice, I'ma talk back, baby. You know how we get down. Yeah, the way we gon' work, yeah.
What up, what up, what up? We back. Like we never left. Ready to get it cracking again. MMGA for another
I
episode.
gotta fix that. Make sure my microphone was legit. You know, just to make sure my mic is.
How y'all doing out there,
Make sure my mic is all right.
Talk to me. How y'all doing out there,
Microphone checker.
Huh?
Microphone check 1 2 1 2.
What's going on? What's poppin'?
Why are you so aggressive with your what's going on?
I just asked you a question. What's going on?
You want to know how I've been losing weight? My Apple Watch I can put on the last hole now.
Oh, that's how you were able to tell? That's the indicator?
I had because I put it on earlier and went to the last hole and I was like,
So your wrist got slimmer?
yeah, I don't know why my waist won't get slimmer, but my wrist gets slimmer.
No.
It's the wrong W.
It'll come. Just keep working
It's the
hard.
wrong W.
Just keep working hard.
Yeah, it sucks.
It'll come.
Working out sucks. Like dieting, eating right, all of it sucks because you are killing the flesh. You are telling yourself, you're denying yourself of what you want to have. But it's weird because I want to have an amazing body too. And my trainer says, well, which one do you want more? Every time you go put something in your mouth, you ask yourself, do I want my body more or do I want this donut more? In that moment, I'll be wanting a donut.
That's deep.
You know what?
What?
I can always tell when you're like disengaged.
I'm engaged. What more do you want out of me?
That's deep.
What more you want out of me?
That's peculiar.
What more you want out of me? I don't know what more you want. I'm the one kicked this off. Kicked this all off today.
Okay, well, keep kicking.
I am. I've been kicking.
Keep on, keep on, keeping on.
So what we talking about today? Oh, snap. Mess my microphone up.
See? Same thing I said. You said you wanted to talk about money, 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 money. Money.
Money, cash. Money, cash.
Wait. What? Wait,
Money,
what?
cash. Money, cash.
That used to be one of my favorite.
Yeah, I think it's
Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar bills, you more money, more problems.
Who said that? Biggie said it.
Biggie said that.
You know.
Any other money songs you got?
I don't know. There's plenty of money songs out
It's
there.
plenty money.
You know.
It's plenty money.
In the Ferrari, a drop top switching 4 lanes. Who said that?
That would be Jermaine Dupri and
Bubble
Jay-Z.
Hard. Bubble Hard in the some fancy name.
With the window.
Crack. Holla back. Money anything. Jigga, I don't like it.
If it don't bling bling.
You know.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
We don't know all the words to that one either.
Just know the beat.
Do you?
Know the beat, man.
That is my whole life. You realize that?
So this money thing can hurt you, and it can help you.
Now, are we talking about money specifically in marriage, or are we just talking about just money in general?
I think money in marriage. I think money in marriage. I think is a good topic.
You know, it really shocked me. What a lot of married people do not have joint accounts.
Yeah, I found that out.
It's mind blowing to me.
Why?
Maybe because I've never done it. I mean, when I was single, I had a single account, and when I got married, I mean, we went right into a joint account.
We did. Has that been good for you?
I mean, yeah, not when it's time for Christmas time, because Huntington will send me a text or send you a text about
what
where we're
did.
shopping. But I just, I can't say there's no right or no. It's not a right or wrong answer.
It's a preference.
It's a preference of whoever, whatever that couple wants. It was odd to me that so many married couples had separate accounts.
Yeah.
And they pay the bills separate.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you're responsible for the gas, water, and electric. I'm responsible for the rent, whatever.
It's almost like maintaining their individuality, even though there's unity. There's individuality
what happens
in unity.
when you don't have no more money? You got to go ask your spouse for some bread,
Probably. I mean, what else you gonna do?
and then is that spouse allowed to be like, "Where all your money at?"
Why not? I mean, why not?
See, that would get dicey to me.
I mean, it's just a different way of handling it. Everybody know who earning and who ain't earning in a marriage anyhow.
Well, in our case, we both earn.
I'm just.
Oh,
I'm just
so you want to come in here starting
No, I
stuff?
didn't say nothing. I just laughed. I didn't say nothing. We both earn.
Is it your opinion that you earn more money than me?
No, I'm not going down that road. No, it's not my opinion. We're both earners. We're both earners.
Oh, it's so hard for you to say that. It's so hard for you to say that.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it is not.
Tell me, Mr. Lancaster, why is that hard for you to admit?
It's not. It's not. We're both earners. It's not hard. I was just playing around.
We're both earners.
We're both earners.
You're so perked out.
We are.
We're
both
so
earners.
perked out.
We're both
Who
earners.
spends more money, me or you?
We're both earners. We're not doing this.
That's a
We're
question.
both earners. I don't want to answer that question.
Okay.
I spend money. You spend money. We both spend money. Who cares? We're both earners. We're both bringing to the household.
It cracks me up that you think
No,
that
we're
you're
both
the
earners.
earner.
We're both earners. Let's not talk about that. Let's talk about
Talk about it.
How money can be detrimental and how a lot of marriages end up messed all the way up because of money. I had an individual who used to be we used to be pretty close. He was telling me that he was the earner, and him and his wife was having conversation, and she was feeling bad about it, and she wanted for him not to only be the earner. She wanted to hold her weight. And so, they talked about it, and she was like, well, I'm gonna go get a little part-time job because I don't like the fact that I'm feeling like I'm not bringing nothing to the table. He said he was like, cool. And so she went and got a part-time job, and and so she was working, and she got her check. And the check really wasn't talking about nothing, and she still didn't have her end of the bargain that they had agreed upon that she was going to take care of. And he went in the bedroom, and she was in the side of the bed crying because she ain't had no money.
Dang.
You know what I'm saying? And so, that caused a rift, in their marriage because, she was feeling inadequate, and it's almost like he could hold that over her head as well whenever he got good and ready.
And that right there, though, I think that is okay. So let's talk about that. Why in the world would someone who makes more money? I could care less. If you made all the money and I was at the crib, you retired me from working against your own will. You didn't want me quitting my job.
All right.
You didn't. That's fair, right?
That's fair.
You didn't want me quitting my job.
That's fair.
We had a very successful business, and I was making 6 figures, and I didn't want to work anymore because we had just launched our first church and our kids. It was too much for me.
Yeah.
I was traveling, and Julius is a money guy. Like the way his brain is with businesses and the way he thinks about making money and saving money. He was looking at me like I lost my mind. And I was looking at it like, we're fine financially, and we were. And you didn't want me quitting my job. And I took myself off my job.
Yeah, listen to what she did, y'all. So she had been complaining about her job. And really what it wasn't the job per se, because she could do the job in her sleep. She'd been doing it for years. It was the fact that the way that the business had been set up and the way that it had transformed into.
Oh God!
I had gotten to a point to where I didn't have to do a whole lot of running around anymore.
No.
Let's
Tell the truth about what not a lot of running around. I was getting up, y'all, driving to Cincinnati every day.
Hold on.
This guy was sipping his coffee in the morning with his Bible open.
Hold on.
Talking about, have a good day, babe.
Hold on. I had gotten the business to a point to where I didn't have to do a lot of running around.
You had gotten the business?
You helped.
Because I was also helping you and working.
But I was doing the majority of the business stuff. She couldn't because she was working. And we had kids and stuff. So it ain't a matter of who was doing more. It's just a matter of who was doing what. I was doing the majority of the business stuff. She was helping though. She wasn't non-involved. And the business had gotten to a point to where I didn't have to do a whole bunch of running around. And her job, if anybody would know her job, she had to do a lot of driving for her job. She driving Cincinnati, Dayton.
Every day.
You know what I'm saying? And so her job was not, and now she was looking at me like, hold up, Negro. You ain't doing nothing. So in her mind, I wasn't doing nothing. But my business was very busy because it was on the phone all day. It was emails. It was texting. It was dealing with a lot of ridiculousness, but it didn't necessarily require my physical presence. And so she would get up and go.
You make it sound so busy.
No, it's the truth. It's the truth. I'm getting in arguments on the, you know it's the truth. And so she, but though, was having to physically go. And so she was looking at what I was doing versus what she was doing. In her mind, she was like, I'd rather be doing what you doing, Negro, than me doing what I'm doing.
Facts.
And so she made that up in her mind. And so then all of a sudden, her job just started getting on her nerves all of a sudden. Like crazy.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So it was total complaints
it was.
about the job. And so then she came home talking about she did a thing.
That's not true.
And like, what's that thing?
That's not true.
What's that thing?
We start talking about it.
That thing was.
And that's not true. Don't do that.
How did it happen?
I brought it up around November. I had been bringing it up. So let's be clear. I had been bringing it up when our business excelled and we were financially fine, meaning, and our goal was always to triple each other's salary. So Julius was a general manager at a gym. We began to triple his salary very quickly in a month. And I told him he needed to come off his job. He didn't want to come off his job. He was like, I want to work still. And I was like, it is physically impossible with the emails and the phone calls and everything. You're not going to be able to work your job. So he came off his job. And then as the years progressed, our business boomed and we were multi-state. We had 50, 60 employees. And I looked at him and I said, we are now tripling my salary. And he looked at me like, just give it some time. So we kept having these times. Okay, let's talk about it again in May. May would come, he still wouldn't budge. Let's talk about it in November, babe. No, it was always a reason as to why we would still need to talk about it. And his reasons always made sense. Like, well, it's getting ready to be peak season. Let's wait. Okay, well, let's just get through the holidays. So the last time, it was 2018, November came and we had launched the church that September. And I said, hey, listen, I said, I'm missing Bible study. I got to get the kids. Like, it was because I had to drive to Cincinnati and Dayton every day. And then coming back home.
A lot of days,
and then
not every day.
And that was part of the reason I had gotten a new boss. And my new boss was a complete jerk. And he was waking me up in the morning, like, kind of texting me throughout the day. What time are you there? Are you going to these stores? They started clocking how many stores we visited a day, etc. Which then at that point, I didn't have the flexibility that I once had. So in November, I said, hey, listen, I want to come off my job. Financially, we are fine. Let's just wait till after the first of the year. So the first of the year came, and I looked at him in February, and I said, what are we going to do? I'm miserable at my job. This is too much on my plate. You're at home chilling. He was at home chilling.
No.
I remember getting it. It was freezing cold outside. I was warming up my car to drive down to Cincinnati. It was a freaking ice storm. And he's like, be careful, babe.
No.
drinking his Starbucks.
No.
And I was like, that's it. We're both going to be home.
No.
Now I would not have quit my job for if we financially could not have afforded it, and B, if my job wasn't as strenuous as it was with also launching the church. So I quit. I told him, I said, I want to give my notice. This was February. He said, okay. I think you had gotten to the point where you didn't want to argue about it anymore.
I think,
because it was causing a rift.
Yeah, it was causing a little bit of a rift. But I think just circling back, I think the finances can cause issues in the marriage, especially in situations like if it hadn't have been our situation where we could do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so the rift was just basically because we wanted surplus, not because we needed needs met.
Well, I'm gonna tell y'all though, what ended up happening was business got rough for us for a small season, and when business got rough, Julius was very upset with me during that time and I was upset with me too, because the first thing we both thought was if I would have still been making six figures, business could have got rough and it would have been fine. The life of an entrepreneur, like business gets rough,
there ebbs and flows.
And there you have dry seasons where money is not flowing like it once was. And we had entered into a season of that, and he looked at me and was just like disgusted. And I felt really bad because I was like, dang, I felt like I was bringing a burden on us that didn't necessarily have to be brought. Now, quickly after we came out of that, COVID was a huge blessing for our business, not because of loans, because of straight just business. People needed stuff to be cleaned. And I think that if not careful, those seasons when money ain't flowing, man, on a marriage.
Money places a major burden on marriage, on people.
So we be watching BMF and we know that to be true.
Money is a burden on people, on single people. Money is not just a burden on marriages, but when you bring the burden of money into a marriage, it just heightens everything else. So if you're having money problems, you're probably having, other issues are highlighted as well because the money is not flowing right.
Would you have married me if I would have had a whole bunch of debt and stuff?
I wasn't really in the market to marry into debt.
You was not. I remember I wanted to buy a Hyundai Genesis, y'all. We were just dating, and Julius looked at me and said, "I'm not trying to have that debt in our marriage." We were not engaged, and I looked at him and I said, "Okay." And I did not buy that car. We paid off that Nissan Maxima.
Yeah, I wasn't in the market to marry into debt just because
that's a whole word, by the way. People that.
Yeah, I mean, you got to look at the whole panorama of what you're getting yourself into. You know what I mean? Because debt, man, is it's crippling. Yeah, it's crippling, it's debilitating, it's delaying. You just got to be careful, and it's not saying that all debt is bad. You know what I mean? So like, you got some good debt and stuff too, but you just got to be wise about like how you enter into debt, what you're willing to go into debt for. Some of the things we're willing to go into debt for is just ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're going into debt to get working capital for your business, that's something different. But you can't be going into debt just to please and appease people's eyes and to make yourself appear like,
right,
you're in a different situation than what you really are.
Right.
Like that's a lot of ridiculousness going on at that point.
Well, and I mean, but that's what's popping right now. They got Jordans on Rent-A-Center.
Yeah, people are. And listen, this isn't to make anybody feel bad about a situation that you could potentially be in.
Right.
But it's just about like really properly prioritizing, what we got going on. Listen, this is what I will say. If you feel bad, get you a little bit of money, you'll feel better about yourself. Mm-hmm. I will say that. Now, I will say that money, of course, isn't the answer to all things pertaining to life. But without any money, it will make all things pertaining to life seem worse. I'd rather go through whatever issues that life presents
with a whole lot of money,
with some money, than go through the issues that life presents without any money. How about that?
Well, I mean, it's absolutely, you're 100% correct, because money allows when they say financial freedom, you think about sicknesses, diseases. Like when you have money, you have opportunities.
It'll make you feel like you at least have hope. And this is why. Because one of my mentors, his name was Greg Rowe, he had, what would he have, Lou Gehrig's disease? Or he had leukemia.
Leukemia.
And so he had money. He had started all of the California fitnesses here in Columbus. He was a multi-millionaire. And he's the one who used to always tell me either somebody's in charge or nobody's in charge. And he used to tell me this. But what he said is he had money when he had found out he had leukemia. And so his money afforded him the opportunity to go to the most prestigious
Cancer institutes
in the country, which was able to prolong his hope.
Man.
And so if you have money in certain instances, it can at least give you some hope. Not saying that the money is going to be the answer.
It can buy you some time.
But it can potentially buy you some time and give you some hope.
Facts.
And it's the same thing like, for my cats out there hustling all that. How you hustling and you ain't got no bail money? You ain't even got no hope of getting out when they come kick in your door when you get caught. You can't even buy a good lawyer. You know what I'm saying? You can't even bail yourself out. Like, how you gonna hustle without no bail money? You know what I'm saying? So money will give you some hope and prolong, your situation to later at least. And so I feel like when it comes to marriage, if you guys are having financial woes, it's going to make your whole marriage seem like it's in shambles.
It will.
It'll make the woman feel insecure. It'll make the man feel inferior.
Yep.
And now you're just dealing with a situation where she's insecure, you're inferior. And now you guys are operating and making decisions from places of insecurity and places of inferiority.
Dang.
And so when you're making decisions from a place of inferiority, that means inferiority is governing your thought process. That means your decisions are based upon that. And a lot of the times coupled with inferiority is fear.
Yeah.
And so you're making decisions based out of fear. When you're insecure, that's fear as well. I don't know where we're going to be at tomorrow, nigga. We ain't got no money going on. We ain't got nothing popping. I'm afraid. And so I'm allowing fear to govern my decisions. And so based upon that, that's why I went and did that, because I'm afraid that you're not able to provide. And now that plays into the man, especially a black man in society where social constructs have developed and caused us to feel like there's certain things we need to be performing in order to be validated out here. You know what I'm saying? So now you're dealing with those pressures, and those things added into a marriage just presents a greater burden. And so the moral of the story is to start making good decisions about how to properly posture and position yourself to make money. Look at the trends. Look at what's happening. Look at what's it called when stuff costs more? Inflation. Look at inflation. Look at what's costing more. Look at the services that people are soliciting more. Look at the products that people are wanting more. If you got an entrepreneurial mindset, this is a psychology of an entrepreneur. Start finding out, you know what I mean? Like, what good and service is hot right now? What could I really do? Where can I add value? Where can I provide a solution where there's a problem? Like, you got to start thinking about those things so that you can put yourself in a position where you can get yourself some money.
Yeah, I think that's vital, because I think the first thing we think about for those that do work jobs is, I need to work more in order to make more money, and then that's probably not going to give you what you're looking for at your job. Or, I'm not going to drink any Starbucks. Well, in our case, we did cut that out, but that is probably not going to give you the amount of money that you're needing. What's going to give you the amount of money that you're needing is tapping into another stream of income. They were saying the other day that the cheat code to a generational wealth hack is marriage, 2 incomes. And so, stay-at-home moms and all these other things is fine. But I felt what old girl was saying to her husband. And so I've tried to start some things on my own to generate more income into the house. It's not, and I was talking about going back to work, and Julius looked at me like, no, you going back to work doesn't help our life, because the way our life is set up when it comes to time, that wasn't the answer. But another stream of income was.
So it's like this: work work is cool. Like my brothers out there, my sister, if you need to work. Like, you know, if a man don't work, he don't eat.
Facts.
But you got to figure out how to work. We think labor is the only generator of income. Sometimes it's ingenuity. And so this is what the Bible says: I, wisdom, dwell with prudence and find out knowledge of witty inventions.
Yeah.
And so sometimes it's ingenuity that will be the engine of your income and not necessarily your labor.
That's good.
And so we got to understand where we are. And so even when it comes to the workforce, sometimes you got to do what you need to do in order to position yourself to get promotions and stuff. And that's cool. Do what you need to do. Sometimes it's education. Sometimes we think the answer to getting more money is more labor, and sometimes it's education, because the education is going to put us in a situation of where we have the knowledge to where we can do the things we need to do in order to be a top earner.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? And so we just got to make sure we're weighing our options, and we got to know who we are, know how God created us.
Yeah.
God created me with an entrepreneurial mind. My mind is entrepreneurial. Everything I think about is entrepreneurial. That's just my genetic makeup. And so not everybody has that makeup. Some people are better suited to climb the ranks of corporate America.
Corporate ladders, yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? But the key is to position ourselves so that we can earn more, however that is for you, whatever that looks like for you. If it's climbing corporate America, do that. If it's going back to school to get an education so that you can enter into a field, a concentrated field where you can earn more, do that. If it's exercise your ingenuity and tap into that brain power and that genius that you have in your brain in order to be a greater producer, then do that.
I want to do a podcast episode where it's how to be married to an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Because I think that it is, if you're not an entrepreneur, you don't even understand the mind of an entrepreneur.
Yeah, it's
and
different.
Why we think the way we think and move the way we move and come to the conclusions the way that we do. But I do believe that you know, if you are married and there are financial burdens and woes, I think the first thing you guys should do is sit down and talk about your money.
Yeah.
No, it's not a time to hide. It's not a time to be embarrassed. It's a time to sit down and talk about the money, talk about how much you make, talk about how much you bring home, and begin to put together a financial plan.
And also talk about how you guys are wired and made up. Because I've seen countless people enter into entrepreneurial journeys that, truth be told, shouldn't.
Yeah, they're not entrepreneurs.
You know what I'm saying? And I've seen people who are stuck in corporate America
who really are entrepreneurs. Yeah.
And so you guys gotta, this is what Shakespeare said, to thine own self be true. Know who you are as a person. If you know you're an entrepreneur by heart, by nature, by desire, by passion, then maybe that's something that you should be exploring. And corporate America is draining you. And if you're trying to do the entrepreneurship thing, but really you have a corporate mindset, maybe you should do that. And this too. Listen, there's a difference between a businessman and an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. Entrepreneurs come up with ideas. And you've got people who are great entrepreneurs, but they're not good businessmen. Mm-hmm. Books is a mess. They know how to come up with an idea, find a problem, create a solution, and all that, and know how to generate money.
Yeah.
But when you look at the business of it, it's a mess. It's all over the place. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so there's a difference between being a businessman and being an entrepreneur. That's for a whole nother episode. But y'all, I feel like I was getting ready to go on a tangent, and I don't want to go on this tangent.
You feel like you was going to go on one, or that you are on one now?
I might have been doing it a little bit, because that's one of my passions.
Yeah.
Is that. And so, but I think just marriages need to really be honest with where you are financially. I feel like a lot of financial woes could be overcome by honesty.
All right. Well, then that's the next episode. We're going to talk about marriage and entrepreneurship. What to do if there's an entrepreneur and a career person. What to do when there's two entrepreneurs. What to do when it's two career people and one of those people wants to be an entrepreneur. I think that all of those need to be discovered and explored.
That's good. Y'all, it's been great. Hopefully you've enjoyed it.
Y'all done got him started and stirred up now.
Make Marriage Great Again podcast YouTube. Make Marriage Great Again podcast Facebook. MMJ podcast IG. Download, subscribe, and share. Holla at y'all, man.
All of that is being